All right, I can get it sent to you.
Just send it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when did you go out?
Oh God. Okay. So well, hang on. When are you posting this? You're not going to do it before the
After
show,
you've
are
gone
you?
out, I won't.
Okay. Don't spoil it for anyone. Okay. So I went out in episode 6 and I leave in the rope challenge. And honestly, oh, I still have nightmares about it. I genuinely do.
What was the challenge? I mean, they'll not. I mean, when this goes out, the viewers will obviously have seen it, but I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
won't.
yeah.
So,
So essentially, so there's a team game. So the dreaded team game. Dun, 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 dun.
oh, was it team? Oh,
Oh, it's a team game. So we're all put into teams of 5. So it's me, Deval, Ash, Fred, and Derek. And none of us listened to each other. Everyone was just talking over each other. Me and Deval had a little bit of a clashing of heads, and he swears at me in the challenge and he says that I push him, but I definitely don't push him. And if I do push him, it was purely because the rope got in the way. Like I actually didn't push him. I didn't mean to anyway. Anyway, he swears at me in the challenge and I kind of was just like, oh, we're going to lose this because like none of us were talking, none of us were communicating because every single person in our group was like a leader and it was a typical too many cooks spoiled the broth, right? We had too many people that wanted to be the leader and nobody communicated with each other. The other teams had people who were like more balanced. So it was like you'd have a leader and then a couple of like people who were team players and then like a thinker. So it kind of was a more balanced team where for some reason our team had all the dominant characters all in one and it was just chaos.
how do you feel going out then?
Honestly, do you know what? I loved the whole experience. The whole experience taught me so much about myself. And I got so many good bonds and relationships from the show that I have no bad feelings about it. Like genuinely, like water off a duck's back. I had such a great time. Do I wish I stayed into the final? Of course. Like, who doesn't want to be in the final? And I just know, had it not been a team challenge, I would have got to the end. But it's, you can say that about anything, right? Like, I was put in a team, we were all in it together, we were last, and that's on all of us. It's not on one person. So I wish I got to the end, but I'm happy with where I came.
Yeah, no. In fairness, I would have been fuming if I'd gone out on a team challenge. I went out on my own with that t-shirt one.
The
Which, in fairness,
t-shirt one.
I think that was just pure luck. That finding t-shirts, that was no. I was. It was
So
mad. I
Will,
wasn't, but I'm not being funny.
I've heard a bit of gossip behind the scenes about that.
Go on.
So I heard from a few sources that you are hiding
Oh
t-shirts.
yeah, oh, of course I was. Of course I was.
To be fair, no shame in it. Like I definitely saw a few other people doing the same.
What I wish I'd done was it came down to the final. It was me and it was Nicola. Was that name?
Nikki.
And I found her. So I'm going through, and it came up, and I thought it was down final 2. So I've kind of hidden it within. I couldn't make it obvious, but what I've done is I put it back down the other way, and then I've gone through all the others, but consciously put them on top of that one. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
thinking
yeah.
I'll just hide it, and then I did that and tried to. But what I should have done in hindsight was somehow wrap it up and put it inside another T-shirt,
That's yeah.
and then there's no way she's finding that.
No way.
But
See,
in the moment, I didn't
but when
think of
you're in
it.
the moment, you just don't think about those things. I think, in a way, because you were hiding so many, you kind of forgot to get
I know.
yours.
Well, I just if I saw one, I hid it,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, you're not the only one, mate, right? I mean, I'll hold my hands up and say I saw one or two people that I wasn't necessarily close with or had spoken to in the competition that, and when you're in a rush, you kind of go, no, that's not mine. So you just chuck it to the side.
well, I also said to the guy next to me, he's called Stephen, and I said to him, I said, if you find mine, will you give it
Yeah.
to me?
And
And
there
if I,
were a
and,
lot of
and if
alliances.
I see yours, I'll give you yours, and I can
Yeah,
assure you that I did see his, and I
yeah.
hit his as well. So
So you hid his?
Yeah, of course I did. There was 25 grand up for grabs.
Real? Do you
So
know
I'm making it
what?
about me now, and it's not. It's meant to be the
No.
special about you. So, in general, you've
Yeah.
obviously applied for it. You've been to the hotel on the first night, met everyone, then done a few. What were you thinking genuinely within the show?
So the show was filmed over 2 weeks, right? And from the word go, it was, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Because we're all just such huge personalities. We all thought we were the main character of the show, right? We all did. Everybody wanted to get to the end. Everybody wanted to succeed in the challenges. And if anyone says that they didn't, they're lying, like genuinely. And people, as the competition went on, you had alliances that formed, and people hid behind other people and tried to get through challenges by copying or staying close to somebody that they knew would do well in that challenge. So there was a lot of conspiracies going on behind closed doors. And that was very evident when I first met everybody on the first go. Like people definitely were keeping their cards close to their chest. I
Yeah.
think I I was very open. I just kind of went in and just did the challenge. And as soon as I got through, as soon as I had been through a challenge, I would help people. You know, yes, I wanted to get through myself first, but I was always kind of like, right, I'm through, who can I help? But I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, do I help this person or do I help this one over this person? Because at the end of the day, it's still a competition and you want to beat everyone. So it's kind of like a competition of loyalty as well as skill and strategy. And I just thought the casting team did such an amazing job with the group of people in the show. We didn't get much time to chat just because of the nature of how the show was format was and outside of the filming we just didn't have that much time together, but I genuinely did think you were a really good guy, Will, and I still do now.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a show there, and that won't be the that won't be the population's opinion.
Yeah.
But it's what it is, isn't it? It's funny with me. I looked at it, and like you said, with helping people out, I was looking at different people and thinking, right, they look good, he looks good,
What
whatever.
did you think of me?
And I wanted, but I wanted the strong ones to go out.
Mm.
So, you know, like the ones that looked like they were competent. I was thinking, oh, I hope they get put in a team. I hope something. I was just trying to
Well,
pick everyone off.
what did you think of me? Be
Nothing really,
honest.
but not in a bad way.
Be honest. Be honest.
Nothing. Not in a bad way. I just didn't think anything. I didn't think
Did you
anything of
see me as a
anyone really.
threat?
You know what?
Did you see me as a threat? That's a
Not in the
no.
long run. I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't think. I didn't think. I was think. I was looking at people like Amali, Grant. Who else? Who else? I can't even think. But you know, people who looked like in the
Is
long run
that
over it
just
all.
purely because of like physical appearance and they were like, big guys, they looked like they could deal with the pressure and the challenges? Is that
Yeah, because a
why?
lot of them. A lot of them were like that volleyball one. Ultimately, at the end, that came down to who was big and strong and whatever.
Exactly. It
And
came down to
I think
stamina.
ultimately, you'll get someone like me. Like I went out on a finding a t-shirt challenge. Like that is pure luck. It
Yeah.
just is. But and I think if that hadn't happened, or if I had found mine, or I hadn't hit everyone else's and spent all my time doing that, then I would have.
Yeah,
Then I
that
would have
came
got
to bite you in the bum,
a
didn't
lot
it?
further on. But I remember actually outside after I'd spoke to after I'd gone out, and I said I was just spending most of the time hiding everyone else's, and someone said, "Well, maybe you should have found yours instead." But it is what it is. But again, a lot of the strategy that I used was that kind of thing when we were measuring the alpacas or whatever they were, you know, the weight of them.
The llamas.
Well, what I did with that was just looked at the person next to me and the person next to me and put something in the
Something
middle
in
of that.
between because
Yeah,
you knew you wouldn't be the one who goes. Yeah. And a lot of people did do that. A
yeah,
lot of people did do that. And that was the first game for me that I kind of realized that other people can start to influence you. Because when I saw the llamas, I was like, right, I think it was like 168 kilograms or something in the end. Can't remember the exact number, but in my head, I was like, it's got to be about 180. Anyway, and then we started discussing it around, and then people were like, nah, it's too much, too much. Oh, that's not enough. It's not enough. And I got influenced by people around me. So I went high. But if I'd have trusted my gut, I would have been really safe. I was quite near to going out on that one.
What was the weight of it?
It was like 168 kilograms or
Yeah,
something around that. And they
I
threw you by putting the second llama there as well to kind of make you double guess yourself.
yeah. Well, when I came in, we all obviously looked at him, and someone said to me, "What do you reckon, Will?" I said, "I don't know, 600 kilograms or something." And he went, "All right, sweet." And I thought, but I knew it was 600, but I thought the off chance that he just does that and then tells
So
people, it
you
just
so
throws
you
people
gave
off,
him
doesn't it?
you gave him a fault red herring.
For what?
You gave him a red herring, as in to say, like, you gave him a
Oh, like
number that was not right to throw him off his game.
yeah. What was your favourite game?
Oh my God. What was my favorite game? That's a really good question, you know. I actually really enjoyed all of them, but I would say probably my favorite game. So I'm going to go with the one that I played because there were games that I didn't play that actually would have been really fun. But I'd say my favorite game was, I think, the rope one, the one where we had to measure how much rope
I
was.
don't think I did that.
So you didn't, so this is in episode 5, I think. So episode 5, you have to measure a rope, right? And you can only use a pair of scissors and cut once. Once you've cut, that's it. So
Oh,
that
right.
piece of rope is your rope. So say you got to measure it, I don't know, like 10 meters. So we like to say it's like that big. You get one chance to cut the rope, and that bit's your rope. And whoever gets furthest away from the actual length of the rope is out. And I was next to Kieran L, and me and him were next to each other. And I said to him, like, Kieran, like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, what? I was like, why? He was like, I don't want to say. I was like, oh, all right. So then measured, he measured his belt because he thought that was
Yeah.
like 6 foot or something was one of his belts. Anyway, he was well off. Had he had come to me and said, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do," I would have told him how I did it. I was,
Six
I
foot
was,
belt.
however long his belt was, he did like 9 of those belts.
Oh, right,
He's
right. 9. I was going to say, not 6.
Yeah, so I can't remember what he did. Sorry, my phone was just going. I
Right.
can't remember the amount of times that he did it, but he did like 9 of his belt, which was way off. And I said to him, if you'd had said, like, this is what I'm going to do, I would have corrected you. And I said, no, do it like this. So what I did was I did measured myself up to here because here was 6 foot because that's where Charlie was. So Charlie, you know, Charlie J, he came up to about here on me. So I'm 6 foot nearly 2. He's 6 foot exactly. So I went to my eyebrows 7.5 times. So I did 7.5 Charlies. So that's how I got through. And I was honestly, I was this close to like getting it bang on. And guess who went out?
Kieran.
Kieran.
I suppose he rang me the other day, Kieran. He was telling me about it because he's a what does he do? Is he a carpenter
He's
or
a
something?
carpenter. He's a chippy that can't measure.
So what do you do then in day to day life? What is it that you
So I
have
quit my
going on?
job to go on the show, Will. So I was a trading manager for a jewellery company and I was there for 7 years. And, you know, I was relatively good at it. I enjoyed the job, but it wasn't like my dream. So my actual dream, since I was like 5, I stood up in assembly one day and I went, I want to be a TV presenter. I thought, do you know what? I'm not enjoying this. I was approached by the casting team at 99 and I said, you know, what's it about? Everything like that. And they told me, I didn't realize it was going to be this big. I just thought, oh, yeah, it'll be a bit of a laugh. And then went and did the show. And ever since then, I've just been doing little gigs here and there. And I've potentially, fingers crossed, got a new job as a TV presenter for a show. So that will be exciting, but I'm still waiting on hearing from that. So I don't want to go back to corporate life anymore. I just love being in front of the camera. I love doing reality TV and game shows. So that's kind of what I want to get into a bit more.
So so you can't say what it is that you're going to do?
I can't say what it is just because I haven't got the job yet. So
Yeah.
I don't want to like A jinx it, and B, if I don't get it, then I look silly.
How big do you think the show's going to get received then? Because obviously we're filming this before the show's gone
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, the show's coming out in 2 weeks, and as you know, you've seen some of the teasers that are coming out, and it looks slick, it looks polished. So I've got a funny feeling that this show is going to be the next big thing. I really, really do. I really think this show's got a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of elements of the show that they could have done that made it a little bit more interesting. I
Yeah.
think they're going to learn from this. But at the end of the day, we were the cast of 99 to Beat, the first original series, and that's an achievement in itself. And I'm so excited to see it come out.
Do you think there'll be heroes and villains in this
Oh,
show?
100%. 100%.
Who do you reckon?
I hope I don't look like a villain. No, no, I'm gonna keep stump, but the villains, you know who you are.
It should be good. Anything else you want to say to anyone who wants to go on TV? What would you say to them?
If you want to go on TV, genuinely, life is way too short. You've just got to get yourself out your comfort zone. Apply. Don't try and be someone else. Be you, be yourself. If you're trying to be a character that you're not, you're never going to get anywhere. Just be you. The world likes authenticity. And, you know, we don't need another Gemma Collins. We don't need another Rylan Clark. We don't need another Anton Deck. They want people who are themselves. And if you want to be on TV, if you're just you and you're just yourself and you stay true to who you are, the rest will follow. That's my advice. And it's a good laugh. It is a lot of fun. If you get the opportunity, do it.
Any other shows you want to go on as well, though? Big
Yes,
Brother, would you do?
I want to do it all. So I would love to go on Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. That would be great. Oh my God, that would be fantastic. Big Brother. My all-time goal, though, my all-time goal would be to get onto Strictly. If I can do Strictly, I've achieved my dream. Like genuinely, because I love to dance. If Strictly's like my gig.
Who were your best friends there?
Best friends in the show, without a doubt, is Nancy and Bianca. Like, I was stood next to them in the circle. So naturally, we got to chat a bit more than other people in the show. But behind closed doors, you know, when we were back at the hotel, we would always be hanging out together. Yes, we all got together as big groups and things, but because we were doing such long days, like the filming was like 8 a.m. till like 8 p.m. at night sometimes, we were knackered. I just didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to either go to my hotel room, have a cry, or have a drink. You know, I didn't want to be in big groups. So Bianca and Nancy really kept me grounded, and we had a laugh. Honestly, we had something called confession sessions.
What was that?
Confession session. So after we'd be filming for the day or during filming, we'd have a little get together and we'd go, right. And we'd kind of like have a little chat about the dynamics of the group, like who's doing what and who do we think's plotting against us or whatever. So I'm not sure if they're going to show that, but we kept each other on the ground.
Did I get mentioned?
You might have got mentioned a few times.
Really?
I think
What context?
I think you might have had a one or two admirers, Will.
What?
I think you might have had one or two admirers.
Who are they?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, come on.
No, you're gonna have to figure it out.
Well, I can't figure it out. 100 people. It is mad though that there's that many people because the amount of people I didn't speak to in the show, and then I look, I think, why did I speak to them? Why did I? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. But the thing is that you just don't get the opportunity because there is so many of us. And like day one, I mean, like 10 people go in the first day.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
they did, yeah,
it's very cutthroat. And a lot of good people went in some of those team challenges. I'm not talking about me, obviously, but I'm saying like a lot of people did go in
yeah,
team
yeah.
challenges that you thought were good.
It's like Kieran, my mate Kieran, he went in a team challenge like so
Kieran
he'd
Turner,
been mint
yeah.
on it, like,
Bless
but
his heart. I do feel for him because he had a lot to give as well.
yeah, no, he'd be. I'm not being funny. We came down on the train because obviously he's from Burnley,
Yeah,
I'm from Bury, so we're going from train from Manchester,
yeah.
and but I became mates with him instantly. But then he'd gone, and then everyone pretty much that I got on with went. So I was sat with a new person every day. Every time I made a new friend to sit with,
Yeah. Yeah.
they went, and it got to the point I was just sat on my own, like thinking, like, because I think towards the end of it, I do genuinely think, and tell me if you think I'm wrong or tell me what you've heard, but I do genuinely think people did want me out because I think I got told I was doing the challenges that quick that people were looking thinking he's going to win this. I think people did want me out of it. What do you think?
I I never looked at you, if I'm being honest, this is my total opinion. I will always tell you straight. I didn't look at you as a threat. I saw you as somebody that would go far, but I didn't see you as a winner. And the reason is because I think you got a bit too cocky. You got a bit cocky towards the end because you're like, oh, I'm Jack the Lad, I can do all of this. Yeah. And I think that kind of was your downfall towards the end. Yes, you are very talented at a lot of the challenges, and you were like top five on a lot of them all the time. But I think your kind of sheer vision of like, I am the best, I am number one, kind of got in your way a little bit.
I think what went wrong for me genuinely was when I walked into the fourth episode in sunglasses. I think that was the point where it went wrong. I think that one thing of trying to swagger in wearing sunglasses into a dark room. I think that's what that. I actually think that was the thing. That was
Were you
the
wearing your sunglasses during the challenge?
no. I took them off for that, but I put them on because the first three episodes I was on it, just bang, bang, bang. All I thought about was the challenge, and then towards it, I was thinking, right, I need to start making a name for myself here. So I think
Yeah,
that's when I've started. I was still just half alright in the other ones, but I thought if I
yeah.
put sunglasses on and walk in at that, now I'm going to start to, and I think that genuinely, I think my head went. No, my
Well,
head
that
didn't
kind
go.
of coincides with what I said, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It kind of coincides.
but as well, I go back to it. I think that t-shirt challenge was pure luck.
Oh, 100%
So
was
if
pure
I hadn't gone
luck.
out on that, I think with that one, I think I might have my concentration might have slipped on that because it looked so simple.
Well, this is
But
the thing. That's the beauty of the game, right? The games are so simple that it does come down to luck at the end of the day.
yeah,
But also, there were people that were picking up, like for me, I didn't actually find my t-shirt. Robin found my t-shirt and he was like, Bella. And I looked over and Robin had my t-shirt. And he was like,
but
here's your t-shirt. And he
that's
got
what I
me
mean, though.
through.
That's what I mean, though. I think a lot of people will have found my t-shirt and thought I'm not giving it him. I do think.
But then again, if it was you and you'd found
Oh
your
yeah,
t-shirt, you would have done the same thing.
oh yeah.
So I think I
I
get what
got
you're
shafted
saying.
by
I get what you're
people like
saying.
me.
But I think during the first four episodes, because it was episode four, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You start to form alliances. I had formed an alliance with
yeah,
Robin. That's why he gave me my t-shirt. Had you had made an alliance with
yeah,
somebody, potentially they would have helped you out.
yeah,
But I don't know what your gameplay was, but I genuinely, I honestly went in authentically me, and whoever I became friends with, I became friends with. I didn't have an agenda. So I think that natural, like being genuine, kind of naturally just got me a few people that actually were like, "Do you know what, I'm going to help her out because
yeah.
I would do the same for them." So that's the way you played
No,
the
yeah,
game.
no. My game
So
plan in the end did take me
it
out
bit
because
you
I
in the
went in
bum.
with kind
Yeah.
of I'll just get on with it and shaft everyone and not and
Yeah.
it did and if I get if that challenge I'll go back to it again. People might watch it and think you are, but if that challenge hadn't been involved, I think I'd have been in the top 10 because that was down to other people helping you. So
Yeah.
the one I went out
However,
on was the one helping, and then obviously people didn't
However,
want to help
Will,
me.
there were challenges down the road that were similar
Yeah,
concept that
that's what I
needed
mean.
people to help you
So
out
if I hadn't
on.
gone out on that, I'd have probably gone out on the other one.
So it really, you had the whole game was a massive game. You had to form alliances, make sure you didn't get people who were going to beat you in before you, and where you were stood, and
Yeah.
kind of how it was placed. There were so many elements to the game that could have made you leave the game early. And really, it's a game, it's a little microcosm of society. That's what it is. It's society on a big scale reduced to this 100 people and how we interact as individuals. That's what I found so interesting. And yes, there was lucky moments. Yes, there was unlucky moments, but I just think the whole format is just incredible and they know what they're doing.
I thought it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. If you could say anything else now about the show, anyone who wants to watch it, say there was another series, anyone that's going to apply, what would you say to them?
99 to be is genuinely one of the most heartwarming, emotional, dramatic, fun experiences. If you're watching it or you're in it, you're going to have a great time. I cannot wait for the show to come out.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And
Thank you, Will. Will you send me this?
I will. Don't worry.
Send me it
Well,
on WhatsApp or something.
the what?
Send me it on WhatsApp or something.
Yeah, I don't know if WhatsApp works. I can do it on something. I can do it over email or something like
Yeah,
that. I'll find
please. I'd love to
some
watch
app
this
that can.
back.
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously, I'll tag you in all of the posts that I put it on eventually when it goes
Please,
out.
please. I
Sweet.
think you're a good guy, Will.
That's a rare opinion. That
I think you're a good guy. So.
sweet.